Hi everybody, my name is Bianca. Welcome to Total Body. We are going to have a 30-minute class today, nice and quick. So we are going to jump into our warm-up, but before we do that, just give you a rundown of what we're gonna do today. We're gonna have a little Tabata day. So when we get to that workout portion, we're gonna be doing 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest for 8 rounds, which equals 4 minutes total. We're gonna focus on some specific movements during each Tabata. We'll have some breaks in between. It'll make sense when we get there. The goal is just to get a total body workout, so trying to hit all of those major muscle groups and maybe get the heart rate up a little bit too if that's what you're looking for today. For our warm-up, we have 5 movements. We're gonna cycle through 2 rounds, and we're just gonna spend 30 seconds on each one. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start our timer and I'll walk you through it as we go. 30 seconds, we're just gonna start with some gentle knee hugs. So drawing that knee into the chest. You don't have to pull it all the way up high, just starting to get some movement in those joints. You can lace those fingers to make it a little bit easier. If the balance is a little challenging, you can hang on to something nearby. About 10 seconds, then we'll switch it up to a hip flexor lunge. Last 3, 2, and 1. For these, taking a big step back, pressing the hips forward, reaching the arm up, same arm of the leg that's stepping back. Pressing forward into those hips, getting a nice deep stretch through that hip flexor. Eyes can follow the hands, so looking up towards the sky to try to lengthen through that whole body. Alternating legs as we go. We have 5, 2, 1. We're gonna make that lunge a little bit deeper, so bringing the hands to the floor. One foot stays in front, just alternating sides in that runner's lunge. I'm gonna show you from the side. So one foot up by the hands, stepping it back to switch sides. Again, just getting a deeper stretch through those hips. We have 10 seconds here. Last 5. Awesome, standing it up, going to our squat stance. We're gonna grab onto those toes, sink to the bottom of a squat, straighten the legs, lift the hips for the hamstring stretch, so stretching through the back of the legs, and just alternating between that squat and that hamstring. So opening up the hips, trying to get the whole lower body warm. We do have lots of lower body focused work today. Awesome, stand it up from the side again. We're gonna go to those inchworms. Great upper body and total body warm up here. Trying to engage the core as we land in that plank when we walk it out. And then walking those hands back into the feet, getting some nice movement through the shoulders. We have 10 seconds, and then we're gonna run through that one more time. In 2, and stand it up. We'll go back to those knee hugs. If you want to get the heart rate up a bit more and you want to take this to a high knee, or even just stepping those knees up, you can do that as well. I'm going to stick with my knee hugs, but remember your options there. We have 10 seconds, then we'll switch back to that hip flexor lunge. In 5, 2, and 1. Big step back, big reach up towards the sky. Hopefully we're starting to get a little breathless, nothing too intense yet, but starting to feel some warmth build through the body. Maybe start to get a little sweat going, depending on where we're at. We have 10 seconds, and we'll go back to that deeper runner's lunge. Last 3, and switch. Hands come to the floor. One foot up near the hands, step it back, switching sides, a little pause before we alternate so that we can feel that stretch. Halfway there. Awesome, team. We have about 5, then we're going back to those deep squats. Good, stand it up. Into that deep squat, hips go low, Last 5, then we've got our last set of inchworms. And switch it up. Hands to feet, out into a plank, squeeze belly, squeeze glutes, walk the hands back in. If you'd like, you can add that push-up for a little bit more of an upper body warm-up. We have about 10 seconds. Let's see if we can get 1 or 2 more here. Awesome. Let's do 1 more. Get that nice hammy stretch on the way back. And we'll rest. I'm going to pause that timer. Now is a great time to grab a sip of water if you have a bottle nearby. All we need today is our body weight. So as I mentioned, we're going to be doing Tabatas today. So that is going to be a 20-second interval of work, followed immediately by 10 seconds of rest, and we're going to cycle through that 8 times, which sounds like a lot, but it only equals 4 minutes. During each individual Tabata, we're going to focus on a specific set of moves that I'm going to show you right before so that we don't get all confused. So we will have a little bit of a longer break in between those Tabatas, okay? So our first one is going to be focused on that lower body. It's going to be a combo because you know I love my combos. We've got a lunge and a single leg deadlift. So I'll show you from the side. I'm going to keep my left foot planted, stepping my right leg back, keeping that leg up, going into a single leg deadlift. You can also step it back, tap that foot, and if you want to leave that foot kickstand for that single leg deadlift to help you balance, that's okay. First 20 seconds, staying on that left side, and we'll just alternate sides after each 10-second break. Alrighty? So I'm gonna set my timer. We will start in 3, 2, 1. So going from that lunge to that deadlift, challenging the balance there. You can always tap the foot so that we don't lose that balance. Make sure we're bracing that core. You can kickstand that back foot for that deadlift. And rest. 10-second break. Shake out the legs. Switching to right leg. Staying planted. Into 1. Left leg steps it back. Then we've got that deadlift. Lunge to deadlift. Challenging that balance. My right leg, this is much harder. So if you need us to go slower, that's okay. Awesome, team. Go ahead and rest. 10-second break. Going back to that starting side, whatever side you did first. Going in, 3, 2, 1. Short bursts of work, short breaks. So hopefully by the end of this, we're breathing a little heavier, we're sweating a little more. Remember those options here. We're over halfway, 5 seconds. 2 and 1, relax. Switching legs, going in 3, 2, 1. Lunge first, into that deadlift, challenging the balance. 20 seconds on this side. Whoop. 10 seconds, finish it out. Remember that kickstand option if balance just isn't in your favor today. And rest. We're halfway through this Tabata. 2 more minutes here, then we'll get a little bit of a longer break. Going back to that starting side. And go. Lunge into that deadlift. On that deadlift, focusing on squeezing those shoulder blades. Core is engaged so that the back is flat on the way down. We really want to load up the hamstring or the back of the leg. Almost through here. Rest. Switching to that second side. For me, that's my right leg. Might be different for you. Going in 2, 1. Lunge first. Single leg deadlift. Lunge. You can do that kickstand. Still focusing on sending those hips back. Less than 10. Finish it out. This one is more strength focused. Go ahead and rest. We have some other ones that might get the heart rate up a bit more. Last round, starting side. 2, 1, lunge it out into that deadlift. Big step, send those hips back. Last time on this side. Over halfway there, stay with me, keep it moving. You can slow the pace if you need to. Rest. Last time, second side, then we get a little bit of a break. We'll move on to the next set of movements. Into 1, big step back for that lunge, send those hips back. Second side is always so much harder for me. If you need to slow it down to focus on the balance, the coordination, that is okay. Just try to keep moving. We have less than 10. Last 2, 1, relax. Woo. First Tabata done. Grab a sip of water. I'm going to introduce our next movement, switching to a little upper body. So we're going to alternate between 2 movements. First one is going to be a T push-up. So either on the toes or the knees, we're going to go into that push-up, trying to bring that chest close to the floor with a nice big reach like the letter T at the top. So that's our first 20 seconds. Second 20 seconds, we're going to come to a tabletop, tucking the toes, lifting the knees, just doing a bear hold. If you want to make this more challenging, you can add a shoulder tap, trying to keep those knees hovering close to the floor. Alrighty, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, switching back and forth between those 2. Going in 3, 2, 1, starting with those push-ups. Lower that chest down, however far you can. Big reach at the top with a twist. Open up that chest. Make the letter T. We have 5. And rest. Quick stretch for the shoulders. You can do a child's pose in between. We have 3, 2, 1. Go into that bear hold. Hovering those knees off the floor. Core should be engaged, so we're squeezing that belly button to spine. If you want to add a challenge, you can try to tap those shoulders, alternating sides. So left hand to right shoulder. Go ahead and rest. Woo! I have a feeling the shoulders might burn at the end of this one. Going back to those push-ups. Into 1, chest to floor, big capital T, big strong presses, making sure that those hips are in line. So we want tension through that whole body. We're squeezing the core, squeezing the glutes. Nice, relax. 10-second break, then we're turning back into our bears. In 2, 1, tuck those toes, hover those knees, squeeze the belly. Remember, you can do opposite hand, opposite shoulder for an added challenge. 20 seconds, we're already over halfway. Last 3, 2, 1, relax. 2 minutes in, 2 to go, team. Got push-ups coming up. 2, 1. Working on the chest and the triceps here. I like my hands to be a little bit closer, focusing a little more on the triceps, but you can definitely make those hands wider in those push-ups, whatever you prefer. And relax. Woo! Going back to those bear holds. In 3, 2, 1. Remember that shoulder tap is optional, so you can just hang out in this bear hold, squeeze that belly tight, keep tension through the whole body. 10 seconds to go. Almost there, team. Stay with me. Whichever version you're doing, stay strong. Keep those knees close and relax. Woo! Shake out those arms. 1 more minute. So 1 more time on each one. In 2, 1. Let's do this. Last set of push-ups. We got this. 20 seconds. Piece of cake by now. Let's go. Big twist at the top. Trying to keep that chest going to that same range of motion through the end of this set. 2, 1, relax. Maybe stretch those shoulders, child's pose. We go in 3, 2, 1. Channel that inner bear. Last time we're doing this bear hold, maybe challenge yourself with that shoulder tap. Whatever you prefer. 10 seconds, stay with me. Last 5, finish it out. Hold strong for 2, 1, relax. Woo! Tabata number 2 is done. Moving on to number 3, switching back to some lower body. Gonna give you a cardio option as well. If you wanna focus more on that strength, on that burn, we're gonna go nice and wide for kind of some side lunge action. So we're gonna sink down to one side, glide over while staying low, then stand. Then we'll do that same thing, just going back and forth for that 20 seconds. If you'd like to get that heart rate up, you can do a side shuffle. So getting low in that squat, shuffling those feet back and forth. If you want, you can alternate every round. I might not, but you can, okay? Starting with that side lunge glide, 20 seconds in 3, 2, 1. Nice wide stance here, staying nice and low, sliding over, standing. Making sure we're keeping that chest tall, so that's why I have my arms out in front. Whatever works for you to keep those shoulder blades back and that chest nice and upright. Relax. Remember, you can alternate with that side shuffle. Going in 2, 1, 20 seconds. If you want to stick with those side lunges and just feel that burn, that's okay too. If you want to get that heart rate up with that shuffle, go ahead and join me. We have 5, finish it out. Stay low if you're shuffling. 2, relax. Woo, shake out those legs. Going into round 2. Nice wide stance. 2, 1, sink it down. Slide it over, stand on up. As we get a little more comfortable in this position, you may find that you can get a little lower. Challenge yourself. See what you can do, as long as it's not causing any pain, right? Good. Relax. 10-second break. I'm going to stick with the side lunges, but remember, you can do those side shuffles, get the heart rate up a little bit. Let's go. Sliding, shuffling, no matter what we're doing, staying nice and low, working that core to stay nice and upright. We don't want that back to arch or that chest to fall forward. Last 2, 1, relax. Quick 10-second break. We're halfway through. 2 more minutes on this one. Let's go. Glide it out, shuffle it out, whatever you're feeling today. Awesome. As we're doing those side lunges, thinking about driving that knee out over the outside edge of the foot. Okay, we don't want that knee falling in, so press hard. Relax. I'll go ahead and switch it up, remind you of that shuffle, join you if that's what you've been doing. Let's go. 20 seconds. Staying nice and low in that squat, keeping that chest tall. Quick feet in that shuffle. Already 10 seconds in. Finish it out. Awesome, team. Back and forth. Last 3, 2, and 1. Final minute here. Going in 3, 2, 1. Crushing it with these short breaks, guys. We got this. We're doing awesome. Chest tall, sinking low, knees are driving out. Challenging those legs. 5 seconds. And rest. Last chance to shuffle it out. You can stick with those side lunges if you want. For 2, 1, let's do this. Last 20 seconds, whichever one's your favorite. Stick it out. Just over 10 seconds to finish. Challenge those legs, keep it moving. A little bit longer break after this one. 2, 1, relax. Stop that timer. Grab some water. We're gonna bring it to the floor. So take some deep breaths, let that heart rate come down a little bit before transitioning. We're gonna finish it out with some core work, okay? So we're gonna start with a hollow hold. So I like to get into my hollow by curling up into a little ball. So knees in the chest, then I can pull my shoulder blades up off the floor, send the arms and legs out. And you can see hollow, kind of a C shape through the body. We're gonna alternate that with our Superman. So hands can be under the chest or out in front, and we're just gonna squeeze to lift the chest and the thighs off the floor. Okay, so finishing it out with the midsection, we're gonna start with that hollow. 20 seconds in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hollow. If this is really hard, you can always bring those hands by your side. You can also softly bend the knees, and you can lift the legs higher. So tons of options here, but I do want you to try to get those shoulder blades off the floor. Tuck that chin and relax. Whew. In that 10 seconds, we're gonna roll it over onto the belly. And in 3, 2, 1, we're gonna channel our inner superhuman. So hands can stay by the chest. We can extend overhead, but trying to lift those thighs off the floor by squeezing those glutes and trying to keep that chest lifted as well. We have 5 seconds. Neck is neutral. 2, and rest. Whew. 1 minute in, 3 to go. Back to that hollow hold. So lying on our backs, let's go. Now we'll hold, hold, hold. If you can, if those legs are straight, try to point those toes, making those legs nice and long, as if we're reaching the opposite ends of the room. Should feel the belly. Maybe it's shaking, that's normal. Relax. Woo. Flipping it over. Going in 3, 2, 1. Big squeeze. Holding that chest and the thighs up off the floor, squeezing those glutes. Again, chin is tucked, so we're kind of looking down at our mat. And holding for 5. Almost there. 2, 1. Relax. Halfway. 2 more sets of hollow hold. 2 more superhumans. 2, 1. Hold. Going for that C shape. Remember, hands can come by the waist. Legs can rise. You can bend the knees a bit as you need. Just try to curl those shoulder blades up off the mat. We have 3, 2, 1. Relax. Going over onto our belly. Into 1. Up and hold. Arms can be overhead. Hands can be under the chest. Whatever is more comfortable. We're squeezing. Should feel this kind of in the lower back, trying to make that midsection nice and stable and strong. 2, 1, rest. Final minute here, team. Then we'll cool it down. 2, 1. Last set of our hollow hold, 20 seconds. Fight to stay up that whole time. Really squeeze that belly hard. Point through those toes if you can. Keep those shoulder blades lifted. We have 5, hold it here. 3, 2, 1, relax. One more Superman, then we'll stretch it out. In 2, 1, up and hold. Big squeeze. You can point those toes here too if you'd like. Flying through the air, 10 seconds. Nice and strong, thighs are lifted. See if you can hold a little higher for 2, 1, relax. Whew. We can just stay here, lying on our belly for a second. Enjoy the break, enjoy the stretch, enjoy the rest. We can start to take deeper breaths here. Let that heart rate come down a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and bring my hands under my chest, and I'm gonna press back into child's pose. So giving that core break and stretching through those shoulders as well. Forehead can rest on the mat. Hips are resting over the heels. Starting to take deeper breaths. From here, we'll tuck those toes. We'll press into the hands, pressing the hips high into that downward dog. Still feeling some stretch through the shoulders. You can pedal those heels to stretch through those calves and those hamstrings. Awesome, team. I'm going to go ahead and step my left foot forward up towards my hand. I'll leave that back knee lifted for now, just to circle out the ankle, both directions. Then I'm going to drop that back knee just to get a little deeper stretch through that hip, so we can kind of press into that hip. If you'd like, you can lower the inside elbow, but if you're comfortable here, you can stay here. We'll shift those hips back, straightening that front leg, drawing the toes towards you, getting a deeper stretch through those hamstrings. And while we're here, we'll go ahead and cross that front leg across the body, keeping that back leg straight for a pigeon stretch, feeling this through the glutes and the hips. I'm going to tuck those back toes, pressing into the hands to send that front foot back, stepping my right foot forward into that runner's lunge, circling that back ankle, both directions. Lowering that back knee to the floor, pressing into that hip. If you'd like, you can lower on that inside elbow. Straightening the legs, sending the hips back. Stretching through the back of the legs. And finishing up with that pigeon stretch, so crossing that right leg in front of the body, keeping that back leg nice and straight, stretching through those hips and glutes. From here, I'm just going to swing that back leg around in front. I'll turn to face you all and we can stay seated here. Just taking a couple of deep breaths before we finish up. Big inhale and exhale. We'll do one more there. Big inhale and exhale. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. If you have time before you go, there should be a link to a survey in the description of this video. We really appreciate your feedback, so if you have time to do so, that'd be awesome. Thank you for joining me. Have an awesome day.